The Accidental Entrepreneur is brought to you through our affiliate relationships with the following sponsors. Digital Accelerant, the digital mobile business card that generates leads. Text the word law to 21,000 to get connected and learn how to get your own digital business card. And by Fetch Internet and Fetch Pro, the secure, high-speed app that eliminates the need to pay for hotspots or use public unsecure Wi-Fi. And Printify, the online, on-demand print shop for all your corporate merchandise. Be sure to visit our online store and get your own podcast merch. Listen to all of our sponsors' commercials later in this episode and follow their links in the show notes to learn more about their products and services.
The company, the organizations that are having a difficult time now or during the pandemic is because they didn't have their stuff together, and not to pull salt on the wound or anything like that, but a lot of small businesses, they're focused on just bringing in revenue, right? Let's just focus on marketing their business, bringing in revenue, and then once you have the revenue, then you hire the professionals and that so forth to get your ducks in a row. But you
need to keep books and records from the beginning.
I know, but a lot of businesses, they had their pants down. They just, and the other thing is, just having, the information that matches. The same name that's on your tax return, it's on your business license, it's with the Secretary of State, just stuff that you as an attorney and need finance guy.
You don't think
try to have our clients do, but as a business owner, you just running and gunning. But a lot of these PPP loans are solely done online. That there's not someone that's just looking at your documentation that can it can make that determination on things. Max, it's the computer system is just saying yes or no. And if it's no, because earlier along, there was so much fraud and that kind of stuff going on with people who knew the game and were trying to, trump on the game, they were getting money. So like part of that organization I was telling you about earlier, we had a conference at the beginning of the year, towards the first quarter of the year, and we were just talking about how much fraud and how to look out for that. When you're lending to institutions, one example is one guy had 14 PPP loans with 14 with one.
What do you mean? There's only been 2 rounds. How could you get 14?
14. He was just gaming the system.
The information provided in these episodes is for entertainment purposes only. It is not a guarantee of success or to be construed as advice of any kind. You should always seek advice from local licensed professionals before making any decisions.
The dictionary defines an entrepreneur as a person who organizes and manages any enterprise, especially a business, usually with considerable initiative and risk. People often start a business without much choice, perhaps due to a job loss or just being dissatisfied at work, and they come up with an idea they just know can be successful. They become entrepreneurs by accident. That is to say, their success or failure happens by accident, not with intention. My name is Mitch Beinhacker. I'm a corporate attorney and a business advisor. You're listening to The Accidental Entrepreneur, my podcast about how to achieve success on purpose, not by accident. Join me along with our monthly guests where we share our knowledge and help you get a hold of your business. And now on to today's episode. Just to remind you, the podcast is produced and brought to you by my legal practice, Beinhacker Law. We provide business and estate services to entrepreneurs, inventors, and other small business owners. Whether you're just getting started or you've been operating for a long time, contact us for all your general legal needs, from contracts to client agreements, from purchasing a new location to onboarding a new partner or key employee. We draft all types of agreements and handle most business transactions. For more information about our products and services, visit beinhackerlaw.com or you can follow our link in the show notes. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed today's interview.
We help entrepreneurs, real estate investors, and business owners get access to capital in the shortest period of time with minimum efforts and maximum profits. Hi, my name is Dominick Wallace, the Managing Director of Wallace Capital Funding.
All right, Dominick, are you here?
I am here.
Okay, all right. I know we've I've been on your podcast and now you're coming on mine. I had to put you off. It was my 23rd wedding anniversary. I surprised my wife took her out of town on Friday, so I bumped you till today. So I appreciate you adjusting your schedule last minute. I hope it wasn't too inconvenient.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Hey, go to the wedding.
Good. So good. So I want to talk today about, business owners, access to capital, what small business owners should do to get money, maybe to improve their things, but their credit and all that type of stuff. But maybe we want to go back a little bit and we'll talk about your background, where you're from originally, how you got into lending and finance and all that stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, certainly. Certainly. Like one of the, I went to University of Virginia way back in the day.
Charlottesville.
We talked about that before.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, and I had a track and field scholarship, but if you can imagine, in men's sports, because of Title IX, the men's have football, which is like 85.
Right. Title IX really benefits the women.
Yeah, it benefits the women. It's like, so our program, because the football wasn't fully funded. So during the summers, I would be out hustling, trying to get some more cash and had work study job. But and what I did was I was painting. Now I wasn't a Picasso or anything, but I would be painting, painting apartments, to kind of get those things turned over.
Right.
And one of the things that I had,
it was like your own business, or you're working for a guy?
Well, so I was working for a guy, and then the short story. So then when I had an opportunity to go back to North Virginia, I was, coaching. And then during the summers, I said, well, let me paint again. So I had my little painting business. Now, like most people who has a small business, what you want to do? You want to grow it, right? You want to make it bigger.
Right.
And so I was doing, like houses and turning houses, which was good. But I was just like trying to figure out, how can I get that bigger? Well, I guess I have to go after bigger projects. Instead of doing a house, maybe I'll do a building.
Yeah, you need people working for you too, right? You can't only paint so much yourself.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, I had a small crew.
Okay.
But I had a small crew, but the guys, they won their beer money on Friday and that kind of stuff.
Of course. But, that's why they don't own the company. That's the whole thing.
But so just the transition I had to got in finance. So what I was like, I wanted to grow it. So I was like, how do I grow this thing? So what the first thing I would do, I was in Washington, D.C. area. They have all the properties either owned or managed by some large corporation or some government agency, because it's near DC, right?
Right.
And so first thing I would do, I would talk to the owner, which be those corporations and government agencies, and then they would say, well, hey, we don't make that decision on painting. You need to talk to the property management company. So now I talk to the property management company, and then they say, well, you're too small. You need to talk to the general contractor. So we got all this level. Yeah. Now, what was the first question that I asked the GC? What do you think was the first
GC?
Question? Yeah, general contractor. What do you think was the first question to ask?
Who you using for painting?
Well, but I mean, besides that, but my first question was, how do you get paid?
Yeah, right. Because if it's going to be, seriously, if it's going to be 90 days for them to pay you,
there you go.
You guys with the brushes aren't going to wait 90 days to pay their bills.
No, not my guys. I pay them. So, typically, like if I go paint your house, you like the job that I did, you cut me a check right there, right?
Yeah, well, I might have even given you half up front, right?
Yeah. Well, but that's not how the commercial world
No, not in subcontracting work, right?
You have to wait.
You're down the line.
What the GC told me, like you said, we'll pay you when we get paid.
Right. He doesn't have the money. Right.
I was like, that was crazy. I'm like, you guys are the one with all the money, man. And then they said, well, check this out. If you send this invoice in, this piece of paper, by the 20th of the month, we'll pay you 30 days after that. And I was just like, oh man, this is crazy. So how am I going to manage?
So that's a 60-day run at least, right?
Yeah. How am I going to manage cash flow. I got to pay my guys. I like you said, if I told my guys, can you guys wait until I get paid? They laugh at me.
They go get another job.
Just get another job.
Yeah.
So I'm scrambling, trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. Unfortunately, the bank wasn't available to me. And so I met this guy who was part of what's called a factor, a finance company. And basically what they do is they provide as many, you can provide these invoices.
Right.
They can give you access to cash. And I thought that was the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah, it's like a letter of credit, right? You had the orders, you had the business, money, they're just financing for you, right? And so
the guy, so I was telling it back then, I told all my buddies about it because, this is the first thing I've heard of something like this.
Now you're just out of college at this point?
Well, I had did some grad school there too.
Okay. So, but you're still young.
But you're a fairly young guy. Yeah. And so, going to the bank and showing all this credit and all, that just wasn't available to me.
Right.
So I went to them and they said, well, yeah, we basically we know that your customers are going to pay. They're just going to pay slow. So we'll give you the cash for that. And instead of you having to wait. And I thought that was the greatest thing. And I told all my buddies about it. And all my buddies I was making those connections. And what was happened was the finance company paid me a referral fee for those connections. And check this out. I was making more money with those referral fees than it was in my contracting
Really?
business. Yeah.
That's funny.
I was like, man, I need to go. There's something to this.
You didn't even realize that you would get a referral fee. You just started telling them.
I'm just like, hey,
it's a good thing, right?
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay.
That's a good story. Okay.
I was like, well, let me legitimize this. So I was doing some
I don't need to paint houses. I can make more money just doing this.
Yeah, let me do this. Now, obviously, in college, you take your basic accounting classes, economics, maybe some finance.
You're not even sure why you're in half the classes.
Yeah, but
I remember in economics, I asked my professor, I said, how does this apply in the business world? Oh, this doesn't apply to the real world. This is all theoretical. No. So why the hell are we learning it?
Basic bottom line. I mean, well, the drill. I mean, we've probably learned more on the job.
Oh, much more.
In maybe in a week than we probably ever learned in a semester or a year of college.
Right. Well, you get 4 years in college. What do you work? 40, 50 years in life? Yeah. Soon after college, you realize that you learn very little. College is like a thinking exercise. Teach you how to think. That's about it.
Teach you how to think. Yeah, exactly. I will definitely say, it helped me learn. And so learning trying to figure out this finance business, I'm like, let me legitimize this. So I found this guy who had this program. He was teaching people how to be what's called a business financial consultant, which basically he owned a bank, and he had this program which tell you how to figure out these ratios and all this kind of stuff, and more importantly, connecting you with other financial institutions out there. And so I thought, I was like, well, yeah, I mean, I can legitimize this and help other guys like me who are trying to figure out how to get financing where I could do it. But here's the cool thing. And because you work with small businesses too, the greatest thing in working with a small business. So in painting, I employed some people, which was cool. But when you finance a business and a business owner, not only you financing his or her family, but all the families associated with that's employed by the business, and the community. Because check this out, who's hitting up the small business owner for T-ball T-shirts?
Yeah, right? It's all the community sponsorships and sure.
All that. So when you helping a small business owner, you're truly helping the community. So I was like, that's what I'd rather do than,
sure. Well, it's a good thing all your buddies didn't want to do that too. They need to be customers, right? You need customers. But it's true, Dominick, because the health of our economy is directly related to the flow of money and the speed in which it changes hands. And as soon as it gets tightened up, everybody starts feeling it, because now I'm not paying you quickly because I don't think the guy behind me is going to pay me that quickly. And I got to make sure my family needs this, or they medical bills or whatever. And everything slows down. And that's what happened with the pandemic. And then the government said, well, we better get money out there. And they, that economic principle does work. Velocity of money. If money's changing hands quickly, things are really, really cooking, and they're good. But yeah, I think it's in the lending business. A lot of people don't realize. I guess you didn't realize that there was this alternative world of availability of money, right?
Yeah, and obviously since then we've been in business. It'll be 19 years. It'll be 20 years come next year. So since then, from just kind of brokering and putting deals together, we've since then become a finance company. But
you do your own lending. You have warehouse lines and things like that, and then you sell it off. Stuff. Right, of course. Well, you grew like you planned on. You didn't just keep brokering. Yeah.
If you allow me to, I'll share the screen for those who are able to see, just to kind of legitimize
for that. We are, okay, you can share.
So for those that are not able to see the screen, go to S as in Sam, V as in Bravo, F as in Foxtrot, E as in Echo.org. Okay. And then when you go to the screen, scroll all the way down to the bottom of the screen, and you'll see a few of our SBFE members. You got American Express is on the screen, Bank of America, Capital One, probably the most marketed finance company in the world, Wells Fargo, and then you see this little eagle thing with Wallace Capital Funding. So that's our institution, and I show that to you because we've come a long way.
Yeah. We've come a long way. Right, but all those banks, they don't want to lend always to guys like us, to the small business owners,
Yeah, so like most reasons, so similar to, I had a lady, she had an engineering and architecture firm, and her situation is similar to mine. She does the designs like the bus depots and that kind of stuff. So like if you're out, waiting on the bus so you won't get rained on. And so she, her problem was, she was like, help, Dominick. And I was like, what? what? And she's like, well, the city, and she
that's all city property, right? The city's hiring her to do those things.
So she worked for the city, and she also worked for the state too. In this case, it was a city. And she's like, hey, normally I get paid 10 days on this invoice, but now it's taking 30, 45, 60 days to get paid. Can you help me out? The funny thing is, I think the mayor was kind of changing the departments. A lot of times when we work with these government agencies, you got the accounts payable office that actually sends you the check. And then you got a separate department that you actually work for. In her case, the engineering department. Right.
Because she gets the invoice and gets submitted to the payroll, the billing department. Then they pay the thing. Yeah.
And in this case, it was 7. We counted it. We went through to try to figure out why it was taking so long. There was 7 different people that had to sign off on that one freaking invoice, man.
It's government bureaucracy.
And that was crazy. It was just crazy. And we finally got it down to 3, but
after working with them,
that's
a lot of PO findings, right? You just finding a lot of purchase orders and stuff like that.
Yeah, we can do that, like money advance for a contract opportunity too. But it's obvious from a finance standpoint, it's easier to fund, that actual asset that's just money that you've been owed to you. But yeah, so
of course.
So we advanced her, but more importantly, like I was showing on that screen, we report to, as a finance institute, report to the Small Business Financial Exchange. And then they report to the credit bureaus like Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian, and LexisNexis. And then what happened was, and you work with small businesses. We probably had this conversation before. But a lot of times, sometimes mainly because we're just focused, business owners sometimes have tunnel vision trying to get something accomplished, or just can't see so far, and not in any bad way or anything, but it's just the state of affairs. What we were able to also work with her to kind of make sure that her company was a lot more profitable, because we saw some things that kind of reduce her costs and kind of improve her
Plus that improves her credit, right? Because it's getting reported, and then it improves her whole profile.
Yeah. So not only we were getting her the money, but we're also consulting with her to help her improve her profitability. So the bank, what happened, the funny thing is the bank saw all this cash going through her account. They were able to see the credit history that we were reporting on. Then they looked at her financials, which was looking a lot better. And then they finally gave her the money initially that she was looking for in the first place.
Right, because they don't want any risk.
Yeah. And I was like, and it was fine on us because, we knew we were, a lot of times we were transitioning to, the client and, giving them money for a certain
Yeah, because you're taking more risks, so your money's probably more expensive, right? I mean, that's the only thing you could do.
Yeah. So we were helping her, and that was awesome. I mean, we had some. Probably our best program is we have an SBA loan product, and we were doing a lot of PPP loans and all that kind of stuff. But like our best SBA products, like a 100 unsecured up to 150,000, 10-year term, 2.3/4%. So it's
that's
over prime,
money. Right?
Over prime. So it's about 5-6% interest.
Yeah.
And then a lot of startups like that come to me, I try to put them in that program and stuff. But I try to put them in the best program, even if it's not the money from our institution, which you try to put them in whatever is going to be best.
Right. For them. You don't want to turn them away if you don't have the product. You find them, help them, because they'll come back someday. That's
I mean, as smaller, organizations. I mean, we're not like big bank or, financial institutions. So, we're based on referrals. That's how we build our business.
People walking in your lobby.
Yeah. We don't have their checking account or nothing like that.
And Dominick, where you located?
So we have an office in Birmingham, Alabama, but also, we have a small presence in the Washington, D.C. area and other parts of the country too.
So going back, so you were like in your mid to late 20s and you never turned back. You went into finance and you've been doing it ever since.
Yeah, man. Just, it's all, but in business, it's all about figuring out.
Did anybody take over the painting business?
No, I just folded
died
that,
on the vine.
I just folded that.
Finish up the jobs and that was it.
Yeah, that was it. It wasn't hard for the guys to find another job.
Of course. Good. I mean, but you didn't want to be blue collar all your life. You wanted to wear a suit.
Yeah, I mean, it was hot. I remember
this was in Alabama or this is in Charlotte?
No, this was in Virginia.
Well, still, Virginia's not, like North Pole. It's hot.
I even have a story. I remember one time I didn't have enough guys. And then, at the time I was like, I convinced my dad to come out and help me. That was how shorthanded I was on one project.
Now, did you experience Charlottesville's not the place I would think of for like a black guy like you from Alabama or a Jewish guy like me from New Jersey? I would think, right? Was there racism and stuff there and bigotry then?
Yeah,
not as much because you see all these skinheads and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. For people most recent, there was a big thing in Charlottesville.
Yeah, it was all over the news. They're protesting against Jewish people and black people. And like, holy shit. My daughter's like, I don't want to go there. I'm like, you're not going there. Luckily, it's hard to get in.
It's very hard to get in. I probably couldn't get in now.
Right. Well, so I was just wondering what you experienced then, and you think it's the opposite now.
I mean, there's just a lot of stereotype. I mean, like even my roommate, he, just some tendencies that you just had to explain, that, you just, from coming from a private boarding school with just a bunch of white guys. You never.
Look, I went to Cornell in upstate New York, and I met people from, white kids from Missouri and Mississippi. Even they were looking at my head to see where my horns were. I mean, they had no clue, So I was just wondering what you experienced.
Yeah. It's interesting sometimes being the only one of your kind in the room sometimes, but I'm used to it now. Well,
the world's a different place. But. That's another episode we could talk about. Fill a round table. But so let's talk more about financing. So, we get a lot of small business owners and they don't really know what to do. And sometimes they can't borrow money, or they don't have the kind of business where they have purchase orders and orders coming through. What do they do what other alternative, ways are there for capital? A lot of people aren't so familiar with the SBA programs and stuff like that. So maybe we're going to talk about that stuff.
Yeah. So there's a lot of programs available for startup businesses and so forth. Now, I will say, because similar to like FHA is for mortgages, where they back mortgages, the SBA was put in place to support small businesses. So it's kind of like a stopgap or insurance policy. But I'll tell
get
people,
the banks to lend to these businesses that they wouldn't lend to before because of the risk.
I mean, because you talk to most banks, they're not going to talk to you unless you've been in business for at least 2 to 3 years. They just won't. They won't even talk to you. So there's a lot of programs that I help small businesses in to get. I mean, I think I told you the story where I did a skating rink one time. Startup. And
it was a startup.
Yeah, it was a startup. We have financed the building.
Right, but there's real estate involved, so it's a little bit easier, right? You have equipment and you have really hard land.
Yeah, I mean,
helps.
Yeah, I mean, I've done funeral home. Obviously the joke is, everybody's dying to get in that business. And
funeral homes are a good business. I got guys that are like embarrassed from the pandemic. It was like printing money for them.
Yes, they did. They unfortunately did well.
They unfortunately did really well. Yeah.
Here's a word from our sponsors. Uplift your marketing and reinforce your brand with a digital business card from Digital Accelerant. Use a text marketing combination to stand out in front of your competition. Digital business cards make you memorable and most of all help you bring in new business through its warm lead generator. Motion graphics, intro, outro, and inspirational videos can be added during setup. Text the word LAW to 21,000. That's LAW to 21000 to learn how to get your own digital business card. Suffering from slow internet speed? Worried about hackers? Fetch Pro gets the internet from your smartphone to your Windows and Mac computer without paying for a hotspot. Always get the fastest, most stable, and secure internet access on your computer with Fetch Pro. Follow their affiliate link on our website to learn more and get connected with Fetch. Printify is the online service that simplifies and automates the process of sourcing and creating print-on-demand products branded with your company logo, product, or service. Printify is a better alternative to pre-purchasing and warehousing your merchandise for distribution or sale. Follow their link from our website to learn how to set up your own online store. And be sure to visit our online store and get yourself some podcast merch. Follow the link in the show notes to learn more about all of our sponsors. And now back to our show.
But but as a small business owner, as a younger professional, your credit's important. You really got to kind of learn how to protect your credit rating and do the right things to make your business seem profitable and all that kind of stuff. Because if you're just a derelict and you're 20 and you're just having a great time, then you turn around in your 30s, you want to get financing, it may be hard.
Well, So here's the lesson from the pandemic. So a lot of businesses that were trying to get financing. So when the PPP loans first came out, the individuals or the type of businesses that got the money first were either the big institutions, big companies that had the good attorneys, accountants, CPAs, or the professional CPAs and attorneys and that knew where to get the money. They had all their documentation in place. They had all their ducks in a row, and they were able to get the access to those funds. The organizations that are having a difficult time now or during the pandemic is because they didn't have their stuff together, and not to pull salt on the wound or anything like that, but a lot of small businesses, their focus on just bringing in revenue, right?
Right.
Let's just focus on marketing your business, bringing in revenue. And then, once you have the revenue, then you hire the professionals and that so forth to get your ducks in a row. But so,
no, but you need to keep books and records from the beginning.
I know, but a lot of businesses, they had their pants down, they just, and the other thing is, just having, the information that matches, the same name that's on your tax return, it's on your business license, it's, with the Secretary of State, just stuff that, you as an attorney and, need finance guy,
you don't think
try to have our clients do, but, as a business owner, you just running and gunning, but, a lot of these PPP loans are solely done online that, there's not someone that's, just looking at your documentation that can, it can make that determination on things. Max, it's the computer system is just saying yes or no. And if it's no, because earlier along, there was so much fraud and that kind of stuff going on with people who knew the game and were trying to, Trump on the game, they were getting money. So like part of that organization I was telling you about earlier, we had a conference at the beginning of the year, towards the first quarter of the year. And we were just talking about how much fraud and how to look out for that. When you lend it to institutions, one example is one guy had 14 PPP loans with 14 with one.
What do you mean? There's only been 2 rounds. How could he get 14?
14. He was just gaming the system, man.
Yeah. So I know a guy who's got a company. They do a lot of government fraud investigation. He told me there was like $70 billion in fraud or something that they were investigating. It was just crazy.
It was really easy.
People see free money and they're like, I'm going to get as much as I can. How are they going to find me?
Well, yeah. No, I mean, I'll just say it like that. If you have any intention of getting in that world, you're just going to be a world of hurt coming down on you because eventually they're going to find out.
Of course. Only an idiot thinks they do this stuff. They're not going to figure it out. I had to go online too. Well, I didn't know you then, but my bank wasn't lending to sole proprietors, sole practitioners, right? So I couldn't go to them at the beginning. So I had borrowed money years ago from Cabbage. And a buddy of mine had hooked me up with them, and they actually did a good job. But like you said, you're right. They asked me for specific things. I uploaded this. They're like, well, this doesn't match to this. I'm like, oh, I fixed that and this and that. And if it doesn't check the box, they're like, I don't know what to tell you. It's not our money,
And especially now, as the round is going towards, especially the second round, if your stuff is not together, because there's so many applications that be processed at one,
right?
They're just not going to take time on it.
Right.
That's the lesson that, you truly have to have your ducks in a row.
Yeah. I didn't think I had such good documentation. I don't know. They're like, here's your money. Hit my account. I'm like, okay. Now I got to give them the other paperwork to get it forgiven,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so people don't realize until the most recent administration kind of changed the rules. They were given opportunities for people who had losses on their Schedule C to actually get funds. But, that was kind of really late in the game.
Because it was supposed to be what, 2.5 times your gross revenue, right?
Net, 2.5.
So if it's negative, that's going to be a zero.
Then a zero. So that's why people were having a hard time getting money. And they would, because
business owners run their business so they don't pay tax. They don't run it to be profitable.
Right. And that hurt. Now, for a traditional business loan, that hurts you. You probably want to seek a good CPA to, figure out how to depreciate stuff and that kind of stuff. So, because from a finance standpoint, there's certain things that I can add back in to get you financing. But if you just say, hey, I'm just not going to show any profits, what would I have to go on to show that you can pay back the note?
It's not going to work. Yeah, exactly. We're going to go, oh, that guy, he picked the quarters up out of the machines on Saturday from the laundromat. You're like, well, that doesn't help me. Yeah, it's you can't live under the radar and then expect to participate in the system.
And I mean, and there's ways to kind of, from a traditional, we'll talk about traditional finance. There's ways to kind of mitigate opportunities for finance. We talked about purchase order and contracts. And so like the local economic development organization sent me this company that was for Germany that's trying to do business here. And they're trying to get like $15 million in equipment, like those 3D printers, and it's kind of crazy. So the funny thing is when they sent the financials, they were in German. So
they were in German.
They were in German. So I'm trying to figure out. I'm using Google Translator to kind of figure some of the stuff out.
What do they think? They're applying for. It's like if you and a guy, you open a business in Japan, we would go to a Japanese bank, give them everything in English. I guess we're so English is so pervasive. Maybe it would work that way. It doesn't work the other way.
Yeah. But what I was saying is sometimes, like if the financials, because you have to be able to show obviously that you have the ability to pay it back. But but one of the reasons they're coming here because they're going to be doing business with another company in their supply chain, and so I'm trying to get the contracts, agreements, and that kind of thing to show. Well, with this, he put this equipment to work. They're going to be paying back, or the other company is going to pay them a certain amount of revenue to be able to pay for this machine. And so there's other ways to kind of mitigate.
Be creative about it.
If you're like a startup or you're trying to ask for funds, you don't have all the documentation.
Right. Well, look, that's why. Look, I have guys buying businesses. The bank's like, well, we'd like to see your business plan. He's like, what do they need to see a business plan for? I said, because they have no idea whether you can actually pull this off or not. If you can't put it on paper, they're going to have no faith in you and your ability to pull this off. It's part of what they're lending.
Well, even, and I was working with this one, not only they were a contracting company. So one of the things that they did was, with the power poles, where they had this machine where you would look and determine if there's any breaks in the wires to see what would, if the wires were break, it was a break. Obviously, the power company couldn't make any money, right? And so that was one profit center in their business. But what they were trying to look at is how can they make additional revenue in their business. So what we were looking at, the power companies have their engineers had to get CEUs, right? And so they would do the inspections on these, for the power, but also they would do classes. They said, well, let's make classes for the CEUs to show them how we do our inspections. That way they use that as a lead magnet for other companies that they're not already working with and providing their inspection services with. And so just kind of working. So a lot of times you can just look at other profit centers to show, like maybe if you're buying a company, because in that instance where we're making an acquisition and we're trying to show where there were other revenues or profit centers, how this business, they can improve this business to pay for that loan.
Right.
And so just as a small business, always look at other ways, other profit centers that kind of align with what you're already doing, that you can make more money with.
Right. Well, there should be a reason you're buying the business. Got to complement what you're doing, or you have some expertise and some access to a market that they don't have access to, or something like that. Or maybe the guy's just old. Maybe he's 80 years old and he's like, it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
92.
I mean, there's a lot of opportunities right now to make some acquisitions. Just people, just are tired.
Yeah. Right. They're tired, or they're thinking about it maybe 5 to 7 years, and then the pandemic hit, and they're like, forget this. I'm not going back to doing this. And they're retiring early, definitely moving out of the cities.
A lot of the baby boomers, are in between 80 and 60 some years old now. So so a lot of those opportunities, maybe make some acquisitions.
Yeah, you got to be careful, because a lot of business owners I deal with, they haven't been running their business with the intention of necessarily. I mean, they want to sell it, they want to get out, but they're not running it that way from a book standpoint. And then when the guy comes in and you're lending to the guy who's buying the business and you're asking for X, Y, and Z, and he's asking the owner for these reports, and the owner gives you crap, terrible reporting. And so the buyer's trying to figure out, you're trying to figure out, help the buyer. And sometimes it's a real risk because the guy has bad records. And he's like, oh, it's a great business. We make a lot of money. You're like, what? Just because it supported his lifestyle doesn't mean it's a profitable business. So, you got to be, I tell a lot of business owners that way. If you want to sell this business, you want to exit out in 15 years, start running it like you're going to sell it tomorrow. And, keep good books and records. So somebody who can come in, that increases the value of your business if you have good records,
Well, one thing I wanted to say before I forget, because actually Mitch and I, he graciously, talked earlier that I had the opportunity to interview him. So we're having the Keys for Business Summit, money, marketing, and profitability. And soon you'll be able to go to keysforbusiness.com or keysforbusinesssummit.com. And you'll be able to hear Mitch as well as myself, but 20 other dynamic entrepreneurs and so forth to hear, in all stages of business, from the exit to the beginning. Awesome people that'll give you knowledge that can help you in your business.
Yeah, that's why I really wanted to. I was excited to come on your show and have you talk because. Look, a lot of guys that are in the financing business, they're brokering business, whatever they're doing, but you're putting out content, you're providing value to people and bringing people together. And you recognize, just like I do, that if you just keep educating people and you just keep putting out good content, sharing information and helping them, at some point, not all those people will be my client. Not all those people will be your customers, but they will do business with you. They will tell other people about it. It's kind of like what happened with you, right? You went, you found this guy who could finance your painting business. He didn't tell you he was going to give you a referral fee. You just told everybody, said, this is great. He's helping me grow the business. And next thing you know, you're getting this money. And you go, whoa, and I could do this. And it just kind of happened. You're the accidental entrepreneur right there. Just because you're excited about what he was doing. And it's ironic, but it's not ironic, really.
Well, no, it's truly, it's just being, just being a servant, just trying to serve other humanity, trying to, just trying to help people.
Yeah, wasn't it Zig Ziglar? He's dead now, but you help enough people get what they want, and they'll help you get what you want.
Yeah.
That's the truth. It's not a funny statement. It's just the truth. And look, I get a lot of business with the podcast, but it's taken me a long time of just keeping out regular content and posting stuff and showing up on your show and showing up on other shows. And then they come on my show and we're posting content, like you said, doing the summit and things like that. And people, they just start thinking you more than they're thinking other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is awesome. Just, you're really, sowing into the entrepreneur, the business owner, making sure that they have what they need and, and what could truly help them and so forth.
Yeah.
And we learn from interviewing people and talking to other people, we learn a lot too, because everyone has a different perspective of business, and from a different tweak or viewpoint, you could be like, oh, okay, or it's just an easier way to explain things sometimes,
right.
To try to help people.
So if there's people out there and they're small business owners, they're looking to borrow money or they're not sure how to finance their business, they should connect with you and you'll help them or get them ready to borrow money or figure out what they got to fix or clean up and what products are out there. And it's a good place to start, right? So what's the best way to connect with you, Dominick?
Yeah. So you can WallaceCapitalFunding.com.
There you go.
There's behind.
We'll put a link in the show notes
call
too.
Us. Yeah. You can just give us a call at 800-809-5629, or you can just or go to the summit too. Go to keysforbusiness.com. That's kind of where I'm just kind of sewing to people, giving people information and just really helping them out. Just
and you're also on LinkedIn if people want to connect with you. Facebook, the whole thing, right?
Oh yeah. Now, the craziest thing on LinkedIn is they only give you 30,000 connections. So if you try to connect with me, I kind of go back and forth. Yeah. I kind of go back and forth. So I have
That's
to
a lot.
delete.
Well, can you get that in?
People.
Will they increase it if you ask them, or that's the max?
I've tried. I've sent email messages. I guess I have to buy some other level. I guess I don't know, but to be honest with you, I probably need to purge a lot of that list now. I truly don't add anybody unless I at least have a conversation with that person now.
Yeah, I get LinkedIn requests all the time. I'm like, if I don't see, I know, like they know you or you. I was talking to Dominick. I'm like, who? Oh, I was looking at your pro. I think we should connect. I'm like, you juggle flaming arrows. What would I? And and you're in Washington State, and I'm in New Jersey. I don't just link in anybody, right? It's the craziest things.
Yeah, but no, it's funny. I'll go to some networking events, and obviously most of them online right now. Yeah. And then try to connect, and then I'll be like, well, hold on a sec. Give me a week or two, and let me delete a few people.
Right? Yeah, they want to link into you. That's pretty funny.
So
but I get a lot of finance guys online. They want to connect, and maybe we do. I don't know. I need more finance guys for it. Oh, who can you lend to? We can lend to anybody. I go, well, then I'll never think of you. Right?
Yeah, just everybody.
Right. That's not good. You got to pick a way you do business, how you help people, what your expertise is,
Yeah.
Can't be everything to everybody.
Yeah. No, I mean, no, that's not fun either.
No, and you make more money the other way, being focused and strategic.
Yeah, no. When I first got started, it was just solely on that account receivable finance side.
That's where you started?
And yeah, solely on there. And then I went to the SBA, local SBA, because you want to be connected with the business community. You go to the SBA, and so I told them about what I was doing, and they said, "Well, you need to meet bankers." And I said, "Well, yeah, duh, I want to be bankers because I know that they can't do everything, right? They'll prefer me stuff." They said, well, guess what? We got this program called the 7A pre-qual program. And then the government has names for all strange stuff, right? And so I was like, well, what is that? Well, what it is, it's a certain SBA loan product, but the pre-qual program is actually packaging these SBA loans. Because back in that day, it's not all centralized and all that stuff online as it was before. You had to actually get the pre-approval on the SBA loan number from the actual office,
the local office,
the office, and then they'll stamp it, and then they'll send it back to the financial institution. And so they said, well, what you can do is you can learn how to be the packager of the SBA loans, and because there are a lot of these banks, the smaller banks, they don't have the SBA departments like some of these bigger banks. You can help them out, and then you start learning some of the bankers. So I did that, and that was begrudgingly. I didn't want to do that because, like you say, you want to specialize in one thing. But I mean, it was a really mixed blessing because it helped me learn, I already knew the alternative financing world and then the traditional world. So it really helps me when I look at a business owner to really look at them from both angles and say, or if we do X, Y, Z, then I can get you to this transitional thing that you're trying to do. Here's where we are now, and here's where we're trying to be.
That's a lot of bankers. Unfortunately, they're like, no, we can't do it. You didn't qualify. They don't tell you where to go or what to do or good luck.
Yeah, no. I mean, no. I remember this one lady, I was just, she was surprised. She would call me, ask this question. It's like, hey, I need some money. And she, I was just like, it was some deal that she was trying to work on, some overseas deal or something like that. And I was just like, well, and she's like, she needs the money up front from her distributor or something like that. And I was like, all you need to do is ask that customer to give you a letter of credit.
Right.
Once you have that letter of credit, then you take that to your bank as collateral and then get the funds. And you didn't even need me for that. And she is off the rate. So, if it's something easy, you call me, like that, I'm not going to try to trick you into something that you don't need.
But you know what? She appreciates that. And there's even somebody else she's talking to who's got more problems. listen, I don't know what to do, but Dominick does it. Call Dominick, and then you're your customer. Look, always doing the right thing for people, I think, always benefits you and benefits them and comes back to you in spades. When you do the wrong thing, eventually people figure it out.
Yeah, they figure it out. Yeah,
of course. They see nowadays, you can't figure, it's not like Tin Men when they used to sell the siding and go to people's houses and rip them off. And now you can check everything online.
You check everybody out.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's easy to find out.
None of that stuff. All right. Well, Dominick, I appreciate it. Thanks so much for spending time with me on the show. We'll put the link to the summit and to your website and to the organization that you're part of. And so I appreciate it. So thanks so much for spending time with me.
All right. Thanks, Mitch.
If you like the podcast, please tell others about us. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, on Google Podcasts, on Amazon Music, and many of the other podcast directories. If you like what you hear, please leave us a 5-star review and feel free to share our episodes on social media. If you have any questions or comments, ideas for the show, or you'd even like to appear as a guest, reach out to us by email at info@beinhackerlaw.com. The Accidental Entrepreneur is hosted and produced by me, Mitch Beinhacker. If you'd like more information about my legal services, you can find me on social media or visit my website at beinhackerlaw.com. Thanks for listening, and be sure to subscribe to our feed to be notified of all future episodes.